So 5 mistakes that the agent thinks sellers are making.
This is Las Vegas Real Estate Now with local real estate expert Harvey Blankfeld.
And the first one is pricing your home emotionally, which,
Nobody does that.
it's
emotionally. What does that even mean?
You know how they say a cobbler has the worst shoes? Realtors are the worst at this. I mean, they list their own homes way too high.
Auto mechanics only have cars that are broken.
That's right. So the point is this: is that sellers often think their house is worth more than buyers might think they're worth, because to the seller it's perfect or close to it.
Right.
They've lived there. They've experienced so many things. So the seller is starting off with a price that they're going to say, okay, everyone else in the neighborhood sold for $1. So my house is worth $2.
Right. And it's funny, I've heard this from the person who bought a brand new house. Well, I got all the upgrades and I got a special thing and I got this and I got that. And that makes my house worth more.
Yeah.
And then you hear from the person that's been in the house 20 years, like, I've made this change and it's better. And this is this and this. And I have this that my neighbors don't have. And it's all sort of emotional.
Yeah.
So the reality of this is that, anytime you choose a price, you're guessing, you're gambling with a seller's equity. What you need to do is you have to put process over price. And it's the process. That's why it's so important to have a good agent, because if they're running the process right, then you can maximize your equity. Even sometimes the seller will pick, I want this price. Guess what? You left money on the table. You thought you were going high.
Yeah.
And you left money because what you're giving up is the proper process to maximize your equity. Mm-hmm. That's the key.
The second thing I'd say for listing agents think that sellers are doing wrong is they think that all agents are alike. They think that each brokerage and each agent is they're all the same. Yeah,
right.
It's all the same.
I immediately go to the question, well, how do I tell the difference between agents?
Yeah, I think you got to be very thorough in your interview process and interview several.
I think supposed to have an interview process?
I would say that's,
but
Marcus talking about process. That's part of the seller's process. They should interview. Look, my
Scoutmaster's wife is a real estate agent. That's all I need to know?
Yeah, if that's going to make you happy, go for it, man.
Sure.
For me, I'm never afraid to compete with other realtors for a seller's business. I'm never afraid to do that, and sometimes I'm not the right agent. There are cases when I'll go in to meet with a seller and I'll decide, you know what, I'm not a good fit for you. It's a two-way street. Sometimes it's I'm not a good fit for the seller, and sometimes the seller's not a good fit for me.
Okay.
But you got to go through that interview process, and I would suggest sellers interview at least 2 or 3. To make a choice and select an agent that you believe is going to get you. First of all, it's going to be professional and get you the best return on investment. That's what you want. Third is
so
sellers.
Things we're doing wrong as a seller.
Right. Sometimes they don't address the most important repairs or improvements to maximize their return, maximize their equity. It's not like TV shows. It's not like you watch a TV show and they spend $300,000 to sell the house just before they sell it. It's not always the case. But sometimes there's certain things that need to be done. Sometimes spending a little bit of money on new carpet is going to get you much more than the investment of the carpet. Sometimes spending money on paint is going to get you a lot more than the cost of the actual paint. And it depends upon the elements. So sometimes sellers are reluctant to spend any money, and sometimes they spend too much.
Yeah. Right.
Just knowing the right amount. Let's talk about number 4. Is limiting access to potential buyers and or their agents. The amount of access is sometimes proportionate to the price you're going to get. It sometimes affects. So, a lot of times.
So you're talking about showings of my home. When I choose to leave my house so you can come in and kick the tires.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. That's one thing I think is important, too. Sellers need to let the buyers look at it on their own terms. Don't go back and...
How much access?
Well, as much as you can do. Now, you live there.
That's a fair answer. As much as you can do.
You live there, and you don't want to have them coming during dinner time. That's fine. Right. I understand that to a certain extent, but don't limit it. Don't make it so restrictive that it has to be certain between 1:30 and 1:45 on Tuesday. You do that, you're going to have a hard time. You're not going to get up.
Sundays when I'm at bridge.
Right. There you go.
Okay.
That kind of thing. So let's that's one. It's a minor issue, but it does happen, and sometimes sellers feel it's important to have that type of control.
Fair enough.
And it can look. The more buyers we get into your home, the bigger the price. I don't know. Right?
Yeah. Listen, real simple math. 2 offers are better than 1 offer. 3 offers are better than 2 offers. 5 offers are better than 3 offers. So that is proportionally connected to how many people view the property.
Yeah.
So the more people you get in there, the more opportunities you have for offers, and that gives you that competing opportunity. To your point, drives the price.
Outstanding. Okay, and the 5th and final mistake I think that the listing agents think sellers are making, and I said me, but because I'm a listing agent sometimes, is understanding that buyers like to believe you never actually lived in your home.
I loved this one. This is so true.
I mean, it really is true. And so when I'm counseling sellers, I'm talking to them about depersonalizing a little bit,
Right.
about making sure the house looks really nice, as nice as possible, clean and polished. Everything should be working. One of my big peeves is light bulbs. Every light bulb in the house should be operative. It should be working. Any light bulbs that are out, and I'm giving away great tips to people right now for free. This is
$10
professional
fix.
listing agent stuff here, guys. So light bulb, I'm just telling you, it's a simple thing. It doesn't cost a lot of money. Make sure all your light bulbs work, okay? And buyers will, if not intentionally, almost subconsciously, want to believe that you never actually did live there. That's just the way it is. It's the way it works.